What is that? What is that? What is this? It's the new Kona. It says right there, and on the title you clicked. It's definitely weird. You're probably a little weird, so let's get weird with it. The all-new 2024 Hyundai Kona is a compact SUV with insane value and a lot more personality. This, as built, is right about $34,000, but it's fully loaded. Mind you, it's the front-wheel drive version, and there is all-wheel drive available, but for $34,000, the amount of stuff that you're getting is just unbelievable. Let's go through it. Starting with the face, obviously nothing else like it, very distinct. The first thing you'll notice is this continuous LED row right at the top, which Hyundai calls the seamless horizon. And this is the fully loaded limited trim, which is why you'll see that, but LEDs are standard, as are these grille shutters. Specific to the limited trim is this camera, which will be part of Hyundai's surround view monitor. Moving along to the side here, there's so much to talk about. Starting with the headlights, which maybe you thought were part of the seamless horizon, but they're actually part of this cluster here. Very quirky design. It blends right into your body cladding, which is a little bit thicker, very rugged, lets you know that you can have a lot of fun with this car. And as you get into the side, you see a lot of that Hyundai Kia DNA, right? This satin belt line that comes on the Limited is very reminiscent of the EV6 to me, and this hard line reminds me a lot of the Ioniq 5. By the way, if you're an enthusiast and you love to make things your own, this line flows really well with the spoiler that comes on the N line, which is one trim below this, but it shares the same powertrain, so you could be having the best of both worlds. Getting into the wheels, they'll have different designs depending on trim, and they're all quirky, of course, but they'll range between 17, 18, 19 inches. This is the limited trim, and it gives us this 19-inch design, which reminds me of like a tangram or origami, reminiscent of simpler times. Speaking of simpler times, Hyundai didn't do anything too crazy with the door handles this time. They're just a classic design, which I personally prefer. The rear actually looks familiar. It's sort of, oh, it reminds me of the front. Here's that line again. I don't know if this one's called the Seamless Horizon. I kind of want to call it Kit or Cyclops. Cast your vote in the comments. So it's a clean design and it keeps it cohesive. You've got the rest of your lights in the cluster just like you saw in the front, and even back here you've got these little slits that are kind of reminiscent of those active grille shutters. Badging is bold and it's a satin silver, not chrome. Keeps the design nice and clean, as does the tucked away exhaust tip. Let's get inside. By the way, this cargo cover comes out, so if you need the vertical clearance, just pop it out. If you're returning to the channel, you already know what I'm gonna do back here. If you're a new viewer, this is my liftgate test, and it passes it with flying colors. I just like to know that I can sit comfortably in the back with a little shade on top of me. And that's it for the trunk. Just kidding. There's so much to talk about back here. Starting with the back seat. It's a 60-40 split, and you could drop down both sections flat if you want. And it reclines. The little bits that are easy to miss are these little hooks that you've got along the side so you can hang your grocery bags and they don't go flying everywhere. You've got these loops down at the bottom so that you could put a cargo cover at the floor to pin things down. And the floor is pretty versatile too. You've got a handle here where you can slide it back and put it in another slot to gain more cargo space. Under that, you can get creative with your storage. There is a cutout for a spare. It doesn't come with one. They give you a tire mobility kit just to maximize the space, but you could get a spare if you wanted to carry it depending on your lifestyle. Moving on, meet me in the back seat. Back here, it's kind of basic, but it's comfortable. Lots of space. This is exactly where I'd be putting my front seat, and I'm 5'10" for reference, so I've got legs for at least a couple days. There's a fold-down center armrest, which makes things more comfortable. 2 cup holders here, air vents for the rear, and USB-C ports. Quick reminder that this is the limited trim, so the SE and SEL will come with cloth interior. The N line will get you Alcantara, and this is Hyundai's H-Tex synthetic leather, which means that it's made of cows, made of tofu. Definitely a lot more space than I was expecting. If you have a family, this is actually a great value option. You could fit a child seat back here, no problem. You're not gonna have the kicking going on in the back, and the plastic panel actually helps with that. But if you're an adult too, I could be back here for a few hours. If I'm on a road trip, I'm comfortable. Also, this is nice and flat, so you could lay down back here, not while the car's in motion though, because I think that's illegal. To the front, the executive seat feels awesome. I put this in my preferred position. It's nice and sporty. I've got lots of support in front of my legs here. I love this dash. Starting with this 12.3-inch touchscreen, that's standard, even on the base model, along with wireless Apple CarPlay. Over here on the left, you've got all of your information. I love this user interface. And Hyundai using this fully digital dash means that they can do really cool things like little animations when the door opens. Steering wheel is sporty, comfortable, very simple design. There's that Morse code H, Bluetooth and audio controls on the right, radar cruise controls on the left, And behind it, you've got paddle shifters, which come on the Limited, they come on the N-Line, as does this column-mounted shifter. If you go with the SE or SEL, the shifter is actually part of the center console, but in this case, it opens up the space. What you do get in the center console is your drive mode selector, which lets you take it in and out of sport mode. Above that, you've got hard buttons for most of your controls, which you know that I love. Dual zone climate control. Down below that, you've got 2 USB-C ports. One of them will handle data if you want it to, a Qi wireless charger, and a 12-volt accessory socket. And right behind that, you've got your buttons for heated and ventilated seats, your heated steering wheel, 2 different settings, that's a first for me, auto hold, your surround view monitor, and parking sensor toggle. Lastly, lots of space here in the center. Under the armrest, you've got a small tray that comes out so you can hold little knickknacks, a huge bit under that so you can get creative, as well as here in the front. Quick action cup holders, you know that I love those. And this divider actually comes out in case that's where your cat wants to sit. Now, I'm not going to get into engine mechanical in this video because there are a lot of options and I don't want to bore you. I know there's a configuration that's right for you. If you favor style, more power, front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, if you want to go electric, check them out on Hyundai USA. I'll probably do a whole video on that. But I do want to tell you that pricing is extremely affordable. I mentioned this one as built is about $34,000, but if we're strictly talking MSRP, the gas versions will range between roughly $24,000 to $32,000, with the EV going from about $33,000 to $41,000. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to drive this. Shout out to Tustin Hyundai. That's where you want to schedule your test drive. Thank you for watching. I'm Omar with Patterson Autos. I'll catch you in the next one.